In the journey of seeking love in a life partner, many believe they must take full control, meeting people, initiating connections, and ultimately choosing who will be their other half. However, from a faith based perspective, the Bible and spiritual experience affirm that God is the ultimate matchmaker, the one who quietly and wisely orchestrates every detail of our love story beyond human comprehension. To say God is the matchmaker does not mean we are passive, but it means we acknowledge that He is leading this process in a way only He can. He sees not only the present, but the future. He knows who is truly compatible with us, not just in terms of personality, but in terms of spiritual alignment, life purpose, and long-term growth. God does not choose someone for us based on fleeting emotions or physical attraction, but someone who can walk with us in fulfilling His divine purpose for our lives. Many have met their soulmate in the most ordinary, even random situations. A church invitation, a volunteer trip, or a passing encounter. Yet looking back, they often realize those seemingly random events were part of a loving and intricate design. These are not coincidences, but divine appointments crafted by a God who knows us better than we know ourselves. Believing that God is the matchmaker also brings peace. It frees us from the pressure of desperately finding the perfect person, and instead shifts our focus to becoming the best version of ourselves in faith, character, and maturity. As we build a deeper relationship with God, He begins to guide our hearts and open our eyes to recognize the right person at the right time. Rather than approaching love with urgency or fear, we can walk in confidence, knowing that true love flows from God's merciful and wise arrangement. And when that love arrives, it will be more than a romantic connection. It will be a testimony of His love and plan. A love built not merely on compatibility, but on spiritual purpose, shared calling, and enduring partnership. In a fast-paced world where instant results are the norm, whether it's getting food delivered in minutes, swiping to start relationships, or accessing answers with a quick search, we've become conditioned to expect everything immediately. But when it comes to love and finding a life partner, God's timing works by an entirely different principle: slow, intentional, and full of divine purpose. Many people grow anxious and disheartened, thinking, at this age, I should have already met the right person. They start questioning themselves, or worse, questioning if God has forgotten their prayers. But the truth is, God is never late, and He is never in a rush. His timing is not based on human clocks, but on preparation, spiritual, emotional, and personal, so we are ready to receive the love He has planned for us. When we feel like things are delayed, God is often working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, refining our character, healing old wounds, and preparing both us and our future partner for a lasting, healthy relationship. Meeting the right person at the wrong time can still lead to heartbreak, but when the right person enters our life at the moment God has appointed, everything unfolds with unexpected clarity, peace, and grace. Imagine planting a seed. You cannot force it to sprout just because you're impatient. It needs light, water, and time. Love that God plants in our lives is the same. It cannot be rushed, but it always grows in season. Waiting on God's timing doesn't mean doing nothing. On the contrary, it's a season of growth, learning, healing, deepening your relationship with God, and becoming the most mature version of yourself. And in that process, you'll come to realize that what felt like a delay was really God's preparation for something far better than you could imagine. When His timing arrives, you won't need to force anything. Doors will open naturally. Peace will flood your heart, and the person God prepared for you will step into your life, not with drama, but with deep meaning. There will be no confusion because the peace of God will be your clearest confirmation. Trusting God's timing means believing that He knows what is best and exactly when you're ready to receive it. Not too late, not too early, but right on time. We often imagine love as something straight out of a romantic movie. Two people locking eyes across a crowded room, a sudden spark, and a magical love story unfolds. But in reality, especially when love is orchestrated by God, it rarely arrives in dramatic or cinematic fashion. Instead, love often shows up quietly, humbly, and through the most ordinary of moments. God is the master of subtle arrangements. He doesn't need grand miracles to bring two hearts together. More often than not, He connects people through what seem like chance encounters, A former friend, a coworker, a casual gathering, or someone we initially overlook. It's in these simple, unexpected meetings that his divine fingerprints are most evident. The key is not where love comes from, but whether we have the spiritual awareness to recognize God's hand at work. Sometimes, the person God has destined for us has been in our lives all along, but it isn't until both hearts are ready, emotionally and spiritually, that the connection becomes clear. Many people miss out on God-sent love because they are too attached to a specific image or checklist, how the person should look, behave, or how the relationship should begin. But God is not bound by our expectations. He can use any person, any moment, any circumstance to align two lives in perfect timing. True love doesn't always begin with fireworks. Sometimes it starts with genuine friendship, mutual respect, and small moments of connection that slowly deepen into something profound. One day, you may look back and realize it was this person all along. And that's when you understand. God has been quietly writing your love story in ways far simpler, but far richer than you ever imagined. We are called to stay open to the unexpected ways God brings love into our lives. Don't dismiss a connection just because it doesn't fit your narrative. Be present, be kind, and be open to relationships that may seem ordinary, because sometimes in that very ordinariness, true love is quietly blooming. In the end, when love comes in unexpected ways, it often carries a deep sense of peace. Not the rush of temporary emotion, but the calm assurance that God is leading you every step of the way. And the most beautiful part? What seemed like a coincidence turns out to be a part of His perfect eternal plan for your life. Before God blesses us with a meaningful and lasting relationship, He first begins by working within us. Personal growth is not merely a self-improvement journey for success, but a divine process through which God heals, molds, and prepares us for true love. Every season of singleness, every moment of waiting is not a delay, but a carefully crafted phase for inner transformation. During this time, God teaches us to see ourselves through His eyes, not through insecurity or shame, but with a deep understanding of our true worth. He heals old wounds, helps us release emotional baggage and harmful patterns, and rebuilds us from within, making us strong, whole, and capable of loving in a healthy way. Many people enter relationships carrying unresolved pain, scars from family, friendships, or past romances. If left unhealed, these wounds can cloud judgment, break trust, and weaken love. That's why God often leads us into seasons of healing before ushering us into serious relationships, not to punish us, but to free and renew us. But personal growth is not only emotional, it is also deeply spiritual. God uses this time to draw us closer to Him, to build a deeper relationship through prayer, scripture, and obedience. When our foundation is firmly built on our relationship with God, we are then ready to build lasting relationships with others. Beyond that, God cultivates emotional maturity within us, teaching us how to manage emotions, resolve conflict with wisdom, and communicate with love. These may seem like small details, but they are the very pillars of lasting relationships. When we know ourselves, understand our worth, and love ourselves in humility, we are better equipped to love others rightly. Personal growth is a journey of patience. We may feel like everything is taking too long, but God is never late. He is simultaneously preparing us and our future partner, each of us being shaped and refined so that when we meet, love is more than emotion. It becomes a partnership in His divine plan. So don't overlook your season of growth. It's not a pause in life, but rather the place where God is doing His most powerful work in your heart. When you allow Him to lead, you become the best version of yourself, not only to receive love, but to give it in a beautiful, purposeful, and lasting way. In the journey of seeking true love, there is a sign that is often overlooked yet profoundly important: spiritual alignment. It's not physical attraction or intense emotions that ensure a lasting relationship, but the deep connection in faith, values, and divine purpose that forms the strongest foundation. When God brings two people together, He doesn't just unite their emotions or circumstances. He connects their souls. This spiritual alignment transcends human understanding. It is where two individuals are not only compatible in the eyes of the world, but are also united in spirit, striving together to fulfill God's will in their lives. Peace is one of the clearest signs of spiritual alignment, not a fleeting excitement, but a steady calm in your heart, a sense that This is right. Even if challenges lie ahead, that inner peace remains, affirming that the relationship is part of God's divine plan and that He is guiding both of you forward. It's easy to get caught up in romantic emotions, physical chemistry, or exciting experiences, but these elements fade without a spiritual root. A lasting relationship must be built on shared faith, mutual prayer, and a willingness to serve God as a couple. In spiritually aligned relationships, partners do more than love each other. They help each other grow closer to God. They encourage each other in faith, walk together in integrity, and build a relationship that not only brings joy, but also reflects God's glory in the world. Spiritual alignment also grants discernment, the ability to recognize whether the relationship is truly from God. Through prayer, reflection, and counsel from wise believers, God often confirms a relationship through inner convictions, scripture, or insights from trusted voices. These confirmations may not be dramatic, but they bring a quiet certainty. Ultimately, spiritual alignment is not just a sign of compatibility. It is a sign that your love is part of God's greater purpose. When both hearts beat in rhythm with God's will, the relationship becomes more than a bond between two people. It becomes a testimony of His love, His faithfulness, and His divine design. In a world where intense emotions and flashy romance are often mistaken for true love, God teaches us to view love through a different lens: peace. When love comes from Him, it doesn't shout or overwhelm. It flows gently into your heart like a quiet stream, calm, steady, and full of assurance. Peace is a sacred and unmistakable sign that you're walking in the right direction in a relationship. When you meet the person God has prepared for you, you may not be flooded with overpowering emotions, but you will feel a deep sense of stability, a quiet confirmation in your spirit that this is good. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, as described in Philippians 4:7. Love from God not only calms your heart, but also brings clarity. You're not clouded by doubt, anxiety, or insecurity. Instead, you feel calm, trusting, and ready to walk forward with that person, even when the future may be uncertain. This isn't a fleeting emotion, but a deep, lasting state of the soul, where love and faith walk hand in hand. Many people confuse emotional thrill or physical attraction with genuine love. But those things fade if there is no spiritual foundation and divine guidance. True love doesn't leave you exhausted, confused, or afraid. It brings rest to your soul. When a relationship is built on the foundation of God's peace, it becomes strong and unwavering. Both individuals will sense God's presence in each step they take, whether they're praying together, facing trials, or simply doing life side by side. That peace is God's mark, a quiet yet powerful confirmation that this love is from Him. We must learn to discern between peace from God and man-made emotions. God's peace is not dependent on circumstances or fleeting feelings. It may arrive even when not all answers are clear, but you still feel safe and sure. This is the kind of love the Bible speaks of. A love that is patient, kind, not boastful or self-seeking, but always hopes and perseveres. 1 Corinthians 13. In the end, a love that comes from peace is the most precious gift God gives us. It doesn't require grand gestures, only the presence of God between two people. When you find someone who brings you peace, not because they're perfect, but because God is present in your relationship, you can be sure that you found a love rooted in heaven. True love is the love that aligns with God's will. Be patient, grow yourself, and trust in the timing, the way, and the person that God has prepared for you. Don't chase love based on short-term emotions. Seek a relationship built on purpose, preparation, and divine peace.